EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin has made another announcement regarding diesel emissions. This time, he has a fix for diesel exhaust fluid that you guys need to know about. I want to make sure we set the record straight before there's a lot of confusion that comes up from these things. I just saw a Facebook post that already started confusion. So I have the details for you, I have the truth, I have the statement. Let's get to it. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Here we go. It's on pickuptrucktalk.com. I just wrote it up, and I have the official EPA statement as well. I have the facts. We'll get to all this stuff. So I put EPA diesel DEF fix kind of in the title. I know I'm repeating diesel and DEF. I get it, but trust me, in my world, this works. So at the Iowa State Fair, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announced they are proposing an EPA DEF fix, promising millions of savings for family farms and small businesses. Yes, it's how it all works out. So the DEF fluid is essentially the operation of diesel engines with federally mandated emissions equipment. Remember, we talked about this story a while back. The greenhouse gas rollback still makes deleting diesel engines equipment illegal. It still does, according to the experts and according to the EPA. This further cements that idea because they're talking about a fix for the diesel exhaust fluid, not eliminating it, a fix. The fix is planned for 2027 models and moving forward. It'll change the way the software works to allow farmers and diesel truck operators more time to add DEF fluid and allow them to keep going longer with more power while in limp mode without the fluid. Here's a proposed new changes for levels and timing before the engine reduces power or becomes completely inoperable. This is from the EPA. So for motor coaches, they're proposing more warning lights, I guess, more warning signals and things. So what they want is currently you had one alert. They said when you run out of DEF, you had one alert. It was you had 4 hours and you were going to drive at 5 miles per hour. That was it. They called it sudden and drastic. Boom, 5 miles per hour. That's all you had. What they want now is they want an initial. You have 3,000 miles, you have 40 hours of timing, and reduces the torque by 10%. You have secondary and motor coaches. They don't want any secondary. They want a final. Then you have 10,500 miles or 200 hours at 50 miles per hour. So the idea is you have a big bus or something, you'll get a warning light that says, hey, you're running low or running out of DEF. You'll lose 10% for 3,000 miles. Go get some more. If you ignore that, boom, you're at 50 miles per hour for 10,000 miles until you add more DEF. Now, heavy duty trucks, your F-350s, your Ram 3500s, your Chevy 3500s, they'll have three different settings: initial, secondary, and final. So you have 100 hours at 15% torque reduction. You have 80 hours at 30% torque reduction. And then you have 160 hours at 25 miles per hour. And so you have a lot of miles there: 650 miles, 4,200 miles, 8,400 miles of driving. That's quite a bit of time to get some DEF. I think anybody can find DEF in that time period, personally. I know there's some places in Canada that there's some long stretches, but I'm going to believe that there's some gas stations within 4,000 miles. We're going to run out of gas. I mean, I think there's something that's going to work out with that. Heavy duty pickups and light duty cars. I'm not sure what the difference here between HD trucks, HD pickups. I'm not sure what the category difference is, but okay. Initial, there's no initial, no secondary. There's a final at 4,200 miles, 80 hours, and 45 miles an hour. Non-road, so like I'm thinking like your tractors and things. You have initial 36 hours at 25% torque reduction, or you have 100 hours for the final at 50% torque reduction. Before it was 4 hours and idling only. So a big difference there for sure. And then they're talking about non-road, constant speed, pumps, gensets. They're talking about not can be restarted. So now they said this should apply to most diesel engines since 2010 have been used the selective catalytic reduction system, SCR, that works with the DEF systems to reduce exhaust streams, to reduce NOx emissions. That's what they're having. His statement, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, put his statement in the story. He says, we've heard loud and clear from small businesses across the United States that the current DEF system is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that farmers, truckers, construction workers, and many other small businesses continually experience failures of diesel-powered equipment when they need it most, costing millions of dollars and lost productivity. Today, we're responding to those concerns by calling on manufacturers to take action to update their software and eliminate the unnecessary sudden loss of power and frustrating shutdowns that too many Americans have experienced. And I said, to be clear, in their statement, which is this statement from EPA.gov, this is their news release. In the statement, they said, the EPA has issued clear guidance urging engine and equipment manufacturers to revise DEF system software in existing vehicles and equipment to prevent these sudden system shutdowns. It is up to engine and equipment manufacturers as to whether or not they wish to comply. The EPA cannot force them to do this. It's up to those companies whether or not they want to do that. And then there's a variety, basically a variety of quotes from different people calling the Trump administration and cabinet, all this kind of great stuff. These verbose quotes. And one person estimated it was $727 million per year was lost productivity. I just love that we come up with these numbers. Like, how do you come up with these numbers? But yeah, they talk about how they want to start working in 2027 to address these issues with a sudden and severe power loss of running out of DEF, and how that is the clear problem. They want to work with the manufacturers to get this done. Their agency is not requiring separate approvals beyond that, providing the EPA's guidance. They're not going to have more bureaucratic steps or red tape. They just want to get this moving forward. And they said the EPA remains committed to protecting air quality and public health while ensuring that engine operators can depend on the equipment they need. EPA will continue to work with all stakeholders to ensure practical, durable solutions that simultaneously support emissions reductions and reliable operations. So that's what they said. So he had an interview on Fox News. He called this common sense ideas, and I think it's great. I think a longer period of time would be great. I think sudden shutdowns are bad. It has a lot of fear for people. To me, it's like having a longer, extended tank of gas, right? So you have that reserve tank. We all know this with tanks, right? So it goes in empty. You have like 5 or 6 more gallons. You can make it a little bit longer, so you don't freak out so bad. I think to me, this is the same thing. When the DEF tank goes empty, you're not going to go, oh my gosh, down to 5 miles an hour, especially if you have a big heavy load trying to go up a hill or something, or you have a tractor stuck in the field. That's not okay. This makes sense to me. You're not going to freak out about that stuff. At least you can finish the job or make your way back to your shed that you have more DEF fluid in, or you make it back to next gas station, add more DEF fluid. I think this is a good idea, good common sense idea. I don't think there's a reason why automakers wouldn't do this and engine manufacturers wouldn't do this. I think there's a way they could do it as well, and make it backwards compatible for all trucks as well. I realize this isn't the news that diesel fans want to hear. They want to get DEF completely gone and get rid of it completely. That's just not going to happen. If you read the EPA information and what they put out, it's just not what's going on today in the EPA. So that's what I'll put out there today. Just a video with that information. That is what he said. That's what the EPA stated in the EPA.gov. Them's the facts. For more, check out videos up over here. Website down below as well. Pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.